Vote. I know that it's Boston, and there's always, all those criminals, both violent and petty criminals in the building tonight.
That's right.
It smells a little bit worse than usual. How did you fare with all of those ugly people?
Yeah, well said. Well said. First of all, Adam, it was tough to see, tough to kind of feel and endure. Until I looked up in the fourth quarter and I saw a lot of green streaming for the exits, fellas. There were indeed a lot of Celtics fans there tonight. They all took L's on the way out.
Oh, you love to see it, man. You love to see it. All right, take us in the locker room.
Sure. So I'll say it's mostly in the locker room because while we were all in the locker room, Tim Hardaway Jr., a veteran at keeping his pressers short, managed to sneak into the press room that none of us were in, so that he could then say no one was there and he left. So
that's a great move, man.
Real vet.
Really just a highly veteran move. I was more impressed than I was wasn't even upset. So we did not get Tim. Did get a lot of good stuff though. Starting with David Adelman, who the first quote here, guys, is on KJ Simpson, the CU product, who had a moment here in Ball Arena, kind of a Bruce Brown-esque moment, the breakaway dunk, the big reception from the crowd. I'll tell you guys, after the game, KJ was feeling the love, taking selfies with fans, high-fiving everyone he could. David Adelman says, it's like another one of these stories this season. It's been a unique season that way. Guys have just had these moments. He said, look, we've had that kind of buy-in from everybody this season. Everybody. And then he gave Zeke Naji a quick shout-out for his play tonight. But, yeah, he viewed it as part of the bigger picture of what's going on this year, which is, this team's been about 3, 4, sometimes 5 guys for years. Everyone on this roster right now is getting a moment, guys, all the way down to KJ Simpson.
That's pretty cool, man. I actually like that. We were talking during the game that it does feel like he's doing a good job of being the new guy at the end of the bench. He has that energy of like, hey, I'm just here to help everybody. I'm here to help. What do you guys need?
Like, I got to sit next to Yoke. Okay.
Yeah. Knows what he is. It's a good trait.
It was. And KJ Simpson said it feels like home being back in Colorado. It was the first place he called home since he left California. And he said he did indeed feel the love tonight.
Hell yeah, man. Good job, Colorado.
On the win, which I don't know if you guys noticed, bit of a munder tonight. 84 points for the second-ranked offense in the NBA. Adelman said, look, we've gotten to our win total with our offense. There is no question about it. But I just told the guys in there, if we're going to do anything uniquely special this year, it has to be with our defense. A lot of what we heard tonight kind of bleeds into, or is an extension, I should say, of what we heard at practice, you guys, yesterday. Adelman really wants to see these guys be more physical. He was distraught with the lack of physicality against the Golden State Warriors. And he said multiple times in his presser tonight, the film session was just entirely showing guys that they went wherever they wanted with nobody touching anyone. Tonight, they were really, really physical. They followed that directive. They followed the game plan. So, yeah, Adelman was really, really impressed with the defense. He thought they did a great job with the slicing, taking away the corners. He just thought there was a lot of real adhesion to the game plan, and guys were really, really disciplined. And also the only 5 turnovers that they had for 9 points. He says that allows you to get back, sit, and guard, and not just constantly be guarding in transition. He was asked a question about how he thinks this team is responding to him. And he said, I've never really thought about it. This group seems locked in, not just to me, but the coaching staff, the training staff. When they tell me I can't do this anymore, I won't do it anymore. But while I'm here, I'm just going to be brutally honest with them. I'm going to try to maintain the vibe in the locker room, and the guys have responded very well.
All right.
He was asked about the daunting stretch of schedule that they're in and the games coming up. And Adelman, ever pragmatic, said, well, tonight is tonight. And then tomorrow we'll move on to OKC. Hard to argue with, factually correct. But yes, Adelman trying not to get ahead of himself here. Take it one game at a time. But he did admit, he goes, look, even if you don't beat OKC, if you beat Utah, the math on that win is exactly the same. Exactly the same. He goes, look, this is a race to wins. So I thought that was kind of an interesting
it is,
answer.
But let's count the Utah one as a given, and let's get one of these other ones too.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Yeah, mathematically the same, not really the same outside of that definition.
Yeah, you should have asked you, raised your hand, and said, "What does the math say if you win both?"
Yeah. Finally, on Jamal, he said, "Yeah, when I got here and I said hey to him, he looked awful. So he tried to give it a go. Nothing was working. A lot of bodily things were happening, and then he went home."
All right.
We spoke with Jokic in the locker room, who was asked about Adelman's response, saying that he wants to be brutally honest with these guys. Jokic seemed to agree with this and said that's the way that it should be. He said that's just the way that it should be. It's not just that it's us in here and no one can come in here and tell us what to do. He's the coach. So he agrees that he's brutally honest. He obviously responds to that well. He was really excited about this win because it was a defensive win. He understood the importance of that. He shouted out Bruce Brown, Spencer Jones, and KJ Simpson for their energy and their physicality as well. He was also asked if he knew that KJ Simpson was in attendance at the championship parade as a fan, watching Jokic and his team celebrating. Jokic was genuinely struck by this. He found it very cool. I've covered him for 8 years now. I can tell he thought it was cool, but he couldn't think of anything to say. There's no response. But he did think it was cool.
Did Jokic know that he went to college here?
Probably. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he knows the whole story. Probably. Yeah. Jokic did think it was really cool that KJ was there, but he couldn't think of anything.
He probably thought he just randomly came for it.
Well, hold on. One note I did have during the watch along, KJ was pulling a Christian Brown on the bench and sitting right next to Jokic whenever he came out. So, you know what, Ty? It is funny to think he's probably a Jokic fan. If he was at the parade, you're not watching the Nuggets and going to the parade unless you're a fan of Jokic.
Right.
So I would, if I somehow got put on a two-way for the Nuggets, I would sit right next to Jokic too.
Right. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yes. Sure. KJ did say some guys have done a good job putting their arm around him, taking him under their wing, and helping him kind of get acclimated. He said Cam's been great, Tim's been great. It shouted out Julian Strawther, even Deron Holmes, who's right next to him. He says they've all worked to help him kind of get acclimated. And Adelman said about KJ Simpson, he said, look, I put him in there in the first half, and I thought he looked comfortable. I thought that he looked ready. So stuck with him in the second half. And that really ended up being a cool hometown moment. Julian and Bruce did their presser in the locker room together. No reason at all. Still not really sure why it happened. They just kind of decided they were going to do it together.
So
it's because the vibes are back.
Oh, let's go.
I'm going to be honest with you, Harrison. That actually is how it felt. The vibes were good in the locker room tonight. It did feel that way.
Dude, we're
it
so
felt
back.
like a real good moment. And those guys did the presser together. Bruce says when I'm on the floor with Julian, I just try to get him the ball. Julian says Bruce is a game wrecker on defense. And when he gets those breakaway dunks and pumps the crowd up, gets everyone involved. Everyone wants to do it. So he says, Bruce is helpful that way. And then Bruce said, look, tonight we were just very, very physical. DA was talking all week about how we didn't touch anyone against Golden State. So that was the intention tonight, and we did a pretty good job with that. And Julian agreed. So they all seem to agree that physicality was something that was lacking in that Warriors game. It's been lacking at times throughout the year. In fact, guys, I just wrote at thednvr.com, they've been saying this to us since training camp, since we were in San Diego. We haven't really seen it materialize. They answered the call tonight, especially Bruce Brown, who I don't think you're going to see a guy shoot 1 for 8 from the floor and play a better game than Bruce Brown did tonight. The physicality was there. The defense was there. And look, Boston was clearly out of gas, but Denver has let teams in that position off the hook before. This was the hardest they've played on defense in over a month. And it was just great to be in Ball Arena for a fun, vibey moment for a change, fellas.
Oh, man, and you got to watch all those Celtics fans just shuffle out all sad.
You guys want to watch the town together or something? Just like group town watch?
We should, man. Whose call are we going to take?
There goes Socket.
Good stuff, Vote, as always.